Hello everyone and welcome to Geek Tank, where everything is a matter of geek. Today, we are geeking out about tattoos. So, Kay, you're basically the tattoo enthusiast between the two of us, so why don't you start us off? Tell us a little bit about tattoos, your experience with them, the tattoos you already have, since you've got quite a few.
Okay, I guess we can start off with the tattoos that I already have. I think my very first tattoo, I got in a very supposed tough spot, which is like my chest, right by the collarbone.
Oh, so you had to feel the pen right there on the bone,
Yeah,
right?
the needle just
yeah.
just vibrating on my bones, like, and it's like, ah. And I mean, it's a geeky tattoo. I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy VIII, so I had gotten like a version of
Griever?
yeah, I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy VIII, but I forget what the fuck I get.
Fan.
But no, it's also like something like for my father too. Like it symbolized something for my father because he had a thing called like the Lion Club back in the day.
Okay.
And I got Skull and Flames.
So just a generic Skull and Flames, right?
Yeah, I was like, okay, Ghost Rider. Let me do a little bit of Ghost Rider shit.
Oh, yeah, a little Ghost Rider inspired.
And the recent one that I got, which is the Cowboy Bebop one, I got it covered up. I got a Cowboy Bebop tattoo, which covered up an old tattoo.
Okay.
But yeah, tattoos have been around for like ages. It's just been around since ancient times. So it's funny to see like it still has like a bad stigma.
How so, would you say?
You get looked funny sometimes, depending on the area you're at. You can't. It's not welcome in like corporate jobs. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's like you got to cover up. Be the professional suit and tie. But then again, it's just like this thing has been around. Like body modification in general has been around since ancient times, and it's been around like spread out throughout the world. I mean, like you have, in Africa, you have, people, like tribes do scarification on their body as a rite of passage. Like a recent example of that was like in Black Panther. You can see Killmonger. He has like the thing, and that's been around. Then you have in Polynesian, the Polynesian people, they have their tattoos, which you can see in like Moana.
Right. Like, I think the Maori did it
Yeah,
too.
the Maori. And even in Asia, like, it's not even just actual tattoos. Just like a general thing of like, putting this design on your body to kind of like, it just...
A symbol.
Like, yeah, symbol. Like, for example, you know a lot about Vikings and Norse mythology and runes.
Yeah, they would actually mark up their weapons with runes to imbue it with what they believed was the power of the rune, or so I've heard. I mean, I also know that runes were just like a language.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's,
And
conflicting.
and the thing is, like, even my mom used to tell me, like, there used to be like tribes in Middle Eastern tribes that used to just put like Arabic ink on themselves, or like just put like ink on their, like, just to make them feel powerful, like to just or like for like protection and so it's just been around since ancient times. But then like recently, it's just like not even just recently. I feel like right now people are becoming more acceptable towards like the tattoos and body modification.
that generational transition.
Yeah, exactly.
So, do you think that as time goes on, tattoos will become more accepted?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like the generation that's my generation that's gonna soon grow up and it's gonna be leading whatever they gotta lead. It's gonna be more accepting.
Taking the reins and
taking over whatever they gotta take over. It's gonna be like, okay, yeah, this is not that big of a deal. It's a cool thing to have, and I think a lot of people are just becoming more accepting of it in general.
And would you say that it's because it's being seen as like less of a thuggish thing and more of just like a form of expression?
Yeah, definitely. And I could say, since art is so subjective, it's like everyone has a specific meaning towards their tattoo. So you may think, you know, one tattoo looks like crap, but then the person can have like a, you know, certain meaning behind it, and you can put all this, like, that's the thing with art in general too. It's just like, it's just so subjective. Like, I mean, I had crappy tattoo, which you'll see, which luckily I got covered up.
So what is your take on this whole stigma behind it? Like, why is it that it's seemingly associated with you know, thugs and rebels, even though that's really not what it's about?
I would probably say it's because, you know, like, you could look at like media, for example. I think has it portrayed it badly with, like, you know, gang tattoos.
Right.
Mostly, you know, if you see someone with tattoos, like, you might think like, oh, they're part of a certain gang. Those might be like gang affiliation, like
Kind of like how in Japan the Yakuza.
Yeah,
don't
the
have any
Yakuza.
tattoos.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I assume that's why.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just because it's different, you know. I think a lot of people are, you know, scared of things that they don't know really much about.
So you mentioned the Cowboy Bebop tattoo that you got recently. So where did you go to get that done?
I went to Habitual Ink in Castleberry. I was lucky enough to find an artist named Sarah Doe Warren. We'll have the links for all the artists that are at that tattoo parlor. And
we'll also include the link for Habitual Ink's website.
So it was cool, you know. I found the artist on Instagram. I was like, okay, I liked her art. I messaged her like, can I make an appointment? And made an appointment. And I was like, the thing that I knew that it was like the right tattoo parlor too was and the right artist. It was like when I went in there, I was actually offered donuts. So hey, man. Yeah, I was like, this is the place to be.
You walk in, they offer you donuts, you know they're friendly.
Exactly. So, and word of advice for people who are like, you know, who are getting tattoos, it hurts. Depending on where your body is, depending on your pain tolerance, it's gonna hurt. You'll see in the video, I'm wincing in pain.
Right. And then I think you said before, you told me that that's a really sensitive area too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I learned the name of that area as I was getting the tattoo done, because
what's it called?
It's called a ditch. Because this part is called like the ditch right here, and it hurts like hell. And the thing with me is like I said, I bleed a lot, man. Whenever I get a tattoo, I end up bleeding a lot. That's just how I am.
Do you get lightheaded as it's going on?
Yeah, it starts becoming euphoric. I think that's the word, right?
Oh, so like you get that whole sense of like...
Yeah. Like, it's crazy. Like, you just have to, like, for me, like I said, you'll see in the video, like, I just put myself like in a different state of mind at times.
Just when I'm getting it out, trying not to think about it.
Yeah, because it hurts. It's obviously, like I said before, depending on the area and depending on the person's pain tolerance, it's not.
Well, I mean, it's essentially you're scarring yourself, right?
Yeah,
and you're just scarring yourself with ink.
I mean, it's like needles going into your body, just crazy.
All right, Kay, so you're here getting a tattoo. This is what, the third round now?
Yeah, third round.
So, for those that haven't gotten tattoos before, does it hurt?
Yeah. You'll be practicing your whiskey face. Your whiskey face.
So, why don't you tell everyone...
Honestly, it depends on the area that you're getting the tattoo done, and it really depends on the individual.
What's the worst area?
For me, like I said before, my first tattoo was on my chest, and probably anywhere near bone.
So you had it where, right near the collarbone?
Yeah, near the collarbone. I think that hurt me the most. This area right here is pretty, hurts a lot too. I think it's called a ditch, right? Yeah.
But I'm guessing this is a cakewalk compared to the collarbone, right?
Depends. It really depends. Because, unfortunately, I tend to bleed a lot too, so... Yeah, it's no fun.
So the one you're getting covered up. Tell us a little bit about that story. How did this happen that you ended up with a cartoon penis on your arm?
It wasn't a cartoon penis, man. It just looked like a cartoon penis. Word of advice, like
If
I
it
said
looks
before,
like it, is it really?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I was probably like 19. I was like, man, I want to get more tattoos. Just working at the hotel. A coworker of mine, he just got the tattoo done. And he's like, dude, I know a guy, blah, blah, blah. He does good tattoos and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get something done, man. You know, I want like a cartoony version of a flaming skull. And, yeah, it hurts. But he's like, yeah, dude, like, no, here's his number, blah, blah, blah. Come with me and, you know, we'll go get it done. So I'm like, I'm assuming that you're going to go to the tattoo parlor. No, we go to a sketchy neighborhood to some guy's house. And I'm just like, oh man, I am fucked. I'm already here. Everybody in the house was just like zoned out of their mind. I'm just like, oh shit.
What about the tattoo artist? Was he stoned out of his mind?
Possibly. I was just like, I am already here. I do not want any trouble. Fuck it. So I show him the picture of what I want. He's like, yeah, man, I got you. I'm like, okay. He's like, I'm going to do my version. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's understandable. I'm going to get done. I'm just like, oh, this is a mistake. This is a mistake. I can't back out of this now. And while he's doing it, he gets a phone call. Like, his brother got shot at or something like that.
Jesus, what the?
Yeah, and I'm just like, hey, man, like, I'm like thinking that's my out. I'm like, hey man, if you want to stop and check up on your brother, you can stop this right now.
No, I don't care about my brother. That's okay.
Pretty much, that's what happened. It's just like, nah, I never leave a piece unfinished. Blah blah blah. I'm just like, fuck me, dude.
Do it anyway.
Yeah, I'm
Go
just
ahead.
like, yeah, I'm just like,
Dude,
I'm just like,
great.
oh my god. Now, luckily, I'm here with Sarah at Habitual Ink. Yeah, and then look at me make my whiskey faces.
Well, you can't show them how much of a wink you are. You gotta hide it, man.
No, okay, there's no hiding it sometimes, man. It's just like, you just gotta zone out and just like, put yourself in a meditative, it's like for me, I just sometimes pick a spot on the wall and just like focus on that.
So, why did you get the Cowboy Bebop tattoo? Because you did have another tattoo there first, didn't you?
Yeah. So it was a flaming like cartoony skull, right?
Is that just supposed to be Ghost Rider, or was that something else?
It was supposed to be something else. Like if you saw the clip before where you see me getting the tattoo, I go into how I got it.
Okay.
How I got that tattoo, but I didn't tell you what it was actually supposed to be. It was supposed to be like the bleached skull symbol.
Okay, I think I know which one you're talking about. So we'll actually blow up an image so we can actually show you guys exactly what it was.
Yeah, and then it came out looking like a fucking dick, a mushroom with like flame around it. I was like, why?
Yeah,
and this is why, like, you seriously do not go into someone's house to get a tattoo. Like, don't go to someone's professional, look at their artwork, so you know, like, what that artist is capable of doing.
Yeah, it's also about safety too, right? Because you want to make sure you get someone that's using
Clean needles and sterile. You need to be in a sterile area, and that's what like most tattoo parlors pride themselves in. It's like they need to make it sterile area.
But this guy did use sterile needles.
Yeah.
So at least he had that going.
Exactly. And you interviewed someone at Habitual Ink too.
Yeah, I interviewed Spider. He's actually got some really cool work, and again, we will have his Instagram and the links in the video description. Yeah, we kind of just talked about his work. He really loves doing tattoos. He does it out of passion more than anything else. And he was telling me about some of his craziest tattoo stories. Or he was giving people tattoos, and 2 times people just pulled the pen out of his hand, just like jerk reactions from the pain. Like
Tattoo
literally,
needle, like the tattoo
yeah,
machine
like,
out of his hand.
yeah, like he literally just started and they just jumped and like knocked it out of his hand or pulled it out of his hand. It happened twice too.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the video and the audio didn't come out well. So
yeah, we would have had the video of him talking about it, but unfortunately, like it was messed up, so we couldn't use that footage. Mm-hmm. But that's insane that like someone just took the machine out of his hand while he's trying to do it, because you're setting up yourself for failure if you do that, because it's like, okay, you're just gonna draw a line here and there on yourself maybe by removing it. Yeah, that's insane. And no, I was just lucky to find someone, person like Sarah, who's like willing to take, like, she walked me through the process. She was like, okay, this is what it's gonna be. This is how big you should probably get it to cover up the area, because that's the thing. It's different getting a new tattoo compared to actually covering up a tattoo, because you got to figure out ways to, okay, what kind of ink I can use over that to cover, depending on what you had before. They have to figure out, okay, how did that person tattoo before? What kind of techniques they used, and what can I do to actually cover it up.
Right, and you also have to, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you also have to kind of incorporate it into the
yeah, somewhat. I mean, luckily you can't see none of the old one.
Right.
In mine, thankfully, no mushroom penis looking thing.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
This one's actually really colorful by comparison. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah, I mean, like, I loved Cowboy Bebop. I loved space and all that. So it's like, okay, I wanted to incorporate that now, and I can't wait to get more tattoos done from her eventually in the future. I mean, I plan on getting like a Blade Runner one and more Cowboy Bebop related stuff on this arm.
Is it going to be separate, or is it going to be a part of this one?
I think I'm going to try and incorporate it to make it part of this one.
Okay.
And then, who knows? The thing is, like, there's that saying, once you get your first tattoo, it's like, once you walk out, you're already thinking of the next one you want to get. Because it becomes addictive.
So it's almost like a habit.
Yeah, I think that's why the name was Habitual Link. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, that makes more sense now. It's kind of an expensive habit, though.
Yeah, it is. But, like, and I always see, like, a lot of bunch of tattoo artists and a lot of different tattoos that I'm like, oh my God, I want to get that. I want to get that. I want to get that one. But then it's like, I'm just looking at my body. I'm like, man, I don't have that much space to get all that stuff.
A lot of places for tattoos.
Yeah.
At least places that people can see.
Yeah.
Unless you're just going to be putting it on your legs and like lifting up your pant legs, like, oh yeah, I got that one there.
No. I mean, I probably would get some on my legs too.
Yeah, because at least with the legs, the lower half of it, you can wear shorts.
Yeah.
Other places I think would be problematic, like anywhere on this part of the torso, like the one you showed before, Griever, is hidden most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, like, I get tattoos for me.
Right.
Regardless of where I put them, it's just mainly my thing. Like, it's a thing for me. It's not like really to show.
Of course.
But
then it's
cool.
Still nice to show off.
Yeah, it's like,
this is part of me.
Yeah, it's like, because the thing is, like, regardless of what you have, I assume, like, a lot of people have a story behind their tattoos.
Yeah.
What it means to them. Like, this one is my version of a watch. And, like, it's crazy, like, how I came up with this one in my head, literally. I was like, okay, this is like a timeline, blah, blah, blah. This is how I want to tell time, but it also connects, multiple universes, and this is how I see the world, and it's like, we're either going forward, backwards, but we're, and perfectly in the center, and this is what just came of it. Like, it was just, like, weird. I was like, okay, I need to get this done, like, tattooed on my...
Yeah. All right, so I think that about wraps up everything we had to talk about, unless you wanted to throw out any tips for anyone thinking about getting a tattoo that it would be their first time.
Yeah, once again, just, I'm going to reiterate this. Don't go into someone's house to get a tattoo. Just do your research on it.
Professional locations.
Professional location, clean, sterile locations. Know your artist. See the work that they've done. Tattoos are not going to be cheap. And tip your artists. Tip your artists well. If they did a good job, make sure you give, make sure you pay them.
And also, if you're someone that likes to show your tattoos off or any art on Facebook or Instagram, tag them.
Tag 'em,
give them that little boost.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because it's hard making, especially in the art world, it's just hard to make money.
Right. It's art is as much a creative endeavor as it is an entrepreneurial one, which is something that people don't realize. So it's like these people are putting in a lot of work, and it's nice to help them out.
Yeah, and another thing I wanted to make aware of is that my tattoo artist, Sarah, who did the Cowboy Bebop cover up, she's not working at Habitual Ink anymore, but she's at a new location. We'll provide all that info
in the description.
In the description.
You can also contact her directly through Instagram if you did like her artwork, which I do recommend you go to each of the artists' Instagram and check it out if you're thinking about getting a tattoo.
Okay.
Thank you for watching Geek Tank, and we will see you next time.
Fusion. Fusion. See, I'm gonna put that in the bloopers.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Geek Tank, where everything is a matter of geek. We're your hosts. I'm Zia. Hey. And this is our Central Forest Spotlight. Today, we're geeking out about tattoos at Habitual Ink in Castleberry.
Where I will be possibly getting a tattoo. Most definitely be getting a tattoo. We're getting this piece finally done.
So, what's the piece?
Well, it's a Cowboy Bebop piece. I'm getting it covered up on my old tattoo. One thing, one word of advice, don't go to anybody's house to get tattooed.
So, what was the old tattoo?
I'll show it. Eventually.
It's a dick eyeball.
Yeah, it was a dick eyeball.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Alright, well, you're about to get started, so let's go take a look.